On the night of January 29, 2025, tragedy struck the skies over Washington, D.C. A Bombardier CRJ-700, operated by PSA Airlines for American Airlines, collided with a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter. The crash occurred near Ronald Reagan National Airport, sending shockwaves through the nation. There were no survivors. 60 passengers and 4 crew members were aboard the plane. The helicopter carried 3 military personnel. The impact occurred amidst a backdrop of bustling air traffic, a stark reminder of the delicate balance upon which air safety hinges. The crash site, located in the Potomac River, quickly became the epicenter of a frantic search and rescue operation. First responders worked tirelessly, hoping against hope for signs of life. As dawn broke, the grim reality set in. The recovery of bodies began, a somber task that underscored the devastating loss of life. The nation mourned as details of the crash emerged, leaving a community in mourning and a nation grappling for answers. Even before the full extent of the tragedy was known, former President Donald Trump took to his platform, Truth Social. In a series of posts, he questioned the helicopter crew's actions and raised concerns about air traffic control. Trump, never one to shy away from assigning blame, quickly pointed fingers in the aftermath of the crash. His targets were familiar: his predecessors and their policies, which he deemed responsible for lapses in aviation security. Trump also took aim at Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, labeling him a disaster and implying his incompetence played a role in the tragedy. He particularly seized on the issue of diversity in air traffic control, suggesting without evidence that DEI hiring practices were to blame. This claim, inflammatory and unsubstantiated, drew immediate criticism. Trump's response to the crash, a mix of speculation, accusation, and self-promotion, followed a pattern familiar throughout his time in and out of office. While Trump was quick to assign blame, the Washington, D.C. air crash also cast a harsh light on long-standing issues within the U.S. aviation industry. A shortage of air traffic controllers, a problem plaguing the industry for years, has led to increased workloads and heightened risks. This staffing crisis is compounded by an aging workforce and challenges in recruiting and training new controllers. The Federal Aviation Administration, tasked with ensuring air safety, has faced criticism for its oversight and its response to these growing concerns. A 2023 New York Times investigation revealed a concerning number of near misses and safety violations, raising questions about the agency's effectiveness. Adding to these concerns, the crowded airspace around Washington, D.C., shared by commercial, military, and private aircraft, presents unique challenges for air traffic control. The 2024 FAA reauthorization bill, while increasing funding for the agency, also allowed for more flights into DCA, raising concerns about the impact on safety. The Washington, D.C. air crash, while a horrific tragedy, exposed the vulnerabilities of a system grappling with systemic issues and a lack of adequate resources. Trump's response to the crash, particularly his accusations about diversity initiatives, was met with immediate backlash. Aviation experts and industry groups, including the Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals, condemned his statements as baseless and divisive. Critics pointed to Trump's own policies, such as the federal hiring freeze enacted in January 2025, which directly impacted the FAA's ability to address the controller shortage. His decision to disband the Aviation Security Advisory Committee, formed in the wake of the 1988 Pan Am bombing, also raised concerns about his commitment to aviation safety. The crash and its aftermath ignited a political firestorm, with Democrats and Republicans trading accusations about responsibility for the state of the aviation industry. Public outcry over the crash and the perceived lack of accountability fueled calls for a thorough investigation and meaningful reforms. As the nation mourns the victims of the Washington, D.C. air crash, the debate over aviation safety, political responsibility, and the role of government oversight continues.